how late it is, right? On the East Coast, it's 2:34 in the morning. Anyways, let's rewind. It's your girl Anna Serve, your favorite social butterfly. And this is the first episode of Anna Reads Live. All right. So I attempted to do this through StreamYard about 40 minutes ago or so. And not even 40 minutes ago, but I was on live for about 40 minutes, 40 to 50 minutes. And so I was talking about why I want to do this and what it's about. And no one came in the chat at all. Whereas every time I go live directly on YouTube this way, everybody drops in the chat. So once I get enough people that want to tune into Anna Serve Reads or Anna Reads, I'm so used to saying Anna Serve. This is the first episode of Anna Reads Live. So if I get enough people that want to tune into it on a regular, then I will StreamYard that, all right? And I'll have the nice background and all of that like I did earlier. I pretty much made the video private because nobody was there. So this is the book that I'm going to be reading. Now, I'm not going to read this whole book. Anna Reads Live. See, I'm so used to saying Anna Serve. I may just need to say my whole name. What's up? How you doing? Where are you watching from? So, I originally, was on StreamYard, had my picture, had music playing in the background, you know, the music that I won't get copy striked on, okay? And it was so dope, but nobody was on the live. So I figured that, oh, that's so dope. Shouts out to Canada. I'm in Georgia, so how you doing? Okay. Listen, you'll be out soon. It's okay. Listen, if you don't mind, please double tap the screen so you can like this video. So there was a group of books that I got from, there's a bag of books that I got from the school I work at, okay? And apparently they're giving them out at all the high schools to encourage students to read. Now, these are for grades 9 through 12. We got a book called Beyond Possible. This is going to be dope. This one's called The Great Big One that I'm going to be reading out of tonight. And then there's one with this dope cover called Ace of Spades. Look how fire this look. Like, I know I'm saying a dollar store, a big lot, stamp my own book. But yes, let me know where you're tuning in from. Yes, I believe in Jesus. And matter of fact, before we open up reading this book, I'm going to read one of my favorite scriptures. Thank you so much for liking this video. You can double tap the video. Some of you may not know how to like the live streams that are from your mobile phone. You just double tap the screen. And then there should be some lines somewhere where you can kind of maneuver and see some things. No, I do not get paid. Look, the goal is to get monetized. So in 2 months, I went from less than 200 subscribers to almost 800. So you can help me out by subscribing to my video. So I'm an artist. I do a lot of things. I talk about my weight loss journey. I got karaoke videos on here of me singing. But this is something new I want to do. I want it to be a relaxing thing. I would prefer not to show myself because I don't want to be a distraction. I just want you to pay attention to the reading of the book. So, let's see what else. You can directly leave a comment in the comment section when this video is ended. Okay, that's cool. I'll take that. Evidently, it's distracting you. That's why you're in this chat, Mr. Stoney. But anyways, so I'm not going to let certain people distract me. You're actually helping my analytics, so thank you for leaving a comment, sir. Okay. My favorite artist to sing karaoke to is Erykah Badu, Anita Baker. I got a Lisa Loeb joint. I did this Jets. I did a song by the Jets. I did a song by DeBarge. So you can go through my videos. soon I'm gonna create playlists so that when you look at my channel, it'll say like Anna Serves karaoke videos, Anna Serves weight loss journey, or health and wellness journey, whatever you want to call it. Anna Serves performances. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mixture of things, and I think if I have playlists, it makes it more manageable, and it makes a better experience for the viewer. So I need to paint it. Okay, somebody's really happy in the chat. I love country. I don't have a country song myself, but I want one. I have a Southern soul song. So no, I don't make chitlins. I don't eat those. So, anyways, let's get to the reason why I'm live. If you've seen the thumbnail, it's because I'm going to be doing some reading from this book. It's to encourage you to read. Okay, it's to encourage you to check out dope authors. Okay, I don't know exactly what this book is about, other than what I read. So I just want to let you know that some of you may just get timed out, you know what I'm saying, for 24 hours, or get hidden from this channel. So make sure that whatever you say in the chat is positive and uplifting. If it's not, eventually I'm just going to get you out of here. So, you got to respect all vibes, respect, respect, respect. But whatever you say pretty much is going to help my algorithm, because you're just commenting. Okay, so Mr. Clint, I am going to remove you for a good 24 hours. Thank you. Let me remove you as well for a good 24 hours. Matter of fact, I'm going to put you on timeout. How about that? All right, so anyways, let's go. So the first thing I'm going to do is read a scripture that I find is my favorite. We're going to go to Philippians. I was going to read Philippians 4:13, but I would prefer to read 4:19. So really, I don't even have to pull it open. But Philippians 4:19 says, "But my God shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory through Christ Jesus." So just know that no matter what you're going through, God will supply all your needs. All right? We're going to give God the glory. Pretty much that's what it is. I just want you to know that he will supply all your needs. All right? So let's get to it. So this book is called The Great Big One by J.C. Geiger, I believe that's how you say it. It's a dope cover. This is the back. All right. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I may read 1 to 2 chapters. It's for those that find comfort in hearing audiobooks, hearing people read books, okay? So if you don't like it, you don't have to be here. You are free to come through this chat and go, all right? If you like it, stick around. I don't mind. If you think someone else may like it, share it with your friends. All right? I can actually just block the whole chat, to be honest with you. That's what I could do. My sister used to be a bus driver. I'm an artist. That's what I am. So, and an educator. All right, so let's get to chapter 1. Well, before I do that, let me read this insert, okay? Just to give you an idea of what this book is about. So, it says, "Hope is our best chance of survival. Everyone in Clade City knows their days are numbered. The Great Cascadia earthquake will destroy their hometown and reshape the entire West Coast if they survive long enough to see it. Nuclear war is increasingly likely. Wildfires or another pandemic. To Griff, the daily forecast feels partly cloudy with a chance of apocalyptic horsemen. Griff's brother Leo and the Lost Coast Preppers claim to be ready. They've got a radio station, luminous underwater monitors, a sweet bunker, and an unsettling plan for disaster-ready rodents. But Griff's more concerned about what he can do before the end time. He'd like to play in a band, for one, hopefully with Charity Sims. Her singing could make the whole world stop. When Griff, Leo, and Charity stumble upon a mysterious late night broadcast, one song changes everything. It's the best band they've ever heard on a radio signal, even the preppers can't trace. They vow to find the music, but aren't prepared for where their search will take them, or for what they'll risk when survival means finding the one thing you cannot live without. So does that sound interesting or does it sound whack? You know, for real, I'll read at that level because there's a lot of you that are on the sixth grade level. Hello, no shade. That is to Kansas Owens. You sound very close to Candace. Is her name Candace Owens, the one nobody liked? But anyway, um, anywho, let's see. Anyways, let's go. Chapter 1. The ocean sent mixed signals. If loved, it loved your precious heart. It meant to kill you. The Pacific had given Clay City a gorgeous scribble of a white sand beach, a lighthouse fine enough to stop your breath, and waves that drummed the shore like the world's oldest song. The town clung to the sea the way a barnacle cleaves to a humpback's belly hanging, windswept on the western edge of America with fisheries, state-of-the-art research facilities, and seaside tourist shops. Their town existed because of the ocean. The ocean would destroy them. Every child in Clade City, by about the age of 6, old enough to read past the silent T in tsunami and pronounce evacuation, knew their days were numbered. It was the only reason Griffin Tripp agreed to hang the siren. It's beautiful, his brother Leo said. I just wait until you see it. A siren was not the music Griff wanted to bring to his hometown. The ocean song was reminder enough. The distant tide sang through the brothers' open bedroom window in brief foggy summers and raged on the battered jetties in winter. It whispered in the hollow mouths of shells in their mother's Main Street collectibles shop, which at dusk reflected the lighthouse in its tall windows. The beam seemed to grow solid in the low drizzle and swung like a ghost ship golden boom tacking in the wind. Whoop! When he'd been a boy of 9, music already deep in his bones, Griffin had imagined a sound to go along with the light. He'd lie in bed, watch the golden splash on his window, and whisper, puffing his lips, whoop, whoop. The lighthouse was Griff's favorite part of the Clade City. It felt safe. The ocean was tricky, romantic. You could harness it with a surfboard. It sang and dropped gifts at your feet, some all the way from Japan. License plates, fishing floats like opaque crystal balls. The gifts were stolen. It sank ships and ate their treasure. And just as tourists harvested shells, the ocean harvested tourists. Pluck them from rocky outcroppings like grapes. Put them in the headlines, never return the bodies. Dogs, children, it didn't matter. In bed at night, Griff listened to the ocean's heartbeat, watched the lighthouse flash. It needed a sound. Whoomp, Griff exhaled. Leo across the room would say, stop talking to yourself. It was hard to explain he wasn't talking to himself. He was vocalizing for the lighthouse. That sounded strange. It's hard it's hard to keep secrets in a shared bedroom. Harder if you're a twin who shares your full biological curvature, slim eyebrows, fingernail moons, wide lips, angular chin. Same distance from nape of neck to shoulder blade. Also, a mirrored internal circuitry. A twin innately knew the profane sewers and dreamy air ducts of your mind, possessed the same map and skeleton key to every secret desire. An absurd belief. Like the day in their father's truck, listening to the radio station when Leo said, "Dad, can you tell Griff the music doesn't come from the lighthouse?" They were 11 of them. Griff's cheeks burned because he had assumed something that, once brought into the daylight of rational conversation, made no sense whatsoever. A collection of old radios and tapes decks, once glimpsed in the lighthouse keeper's quarters, had conjured a belief, planted a childish seed that untended and developed into a full-bloom thought system Leo had somehow been able to see and expose. It was likely Leo had just a moment before confronted this same false belief in his own mind, and thus felt qualified to expose Griff to their father. "No one broadcasts from the lighthouse," their dad said. "That's just old equipment." "I know that," Griff said, staring at his feet. The trouble with being born second. Leo had maneuvered himself into utero, likely with elbows and illegal kicks and eye gouges, to the front of the birth order, saw the light 3 minutes earlier, and had seemed to be ahead ever since. When Griff turned 17, Leo was already 17 in 3 minutes. The first morning of their junior year, in their father's truck and on the way to K Now Radio, Leo was in the front seat as always. He was wearing the camouflage coat their father had to them and share given to share, and which Griff had worn exactly once. Leo was talking to their father about who would hang the siren. "I'm happy to go up and ring it," Leo said. He glanced back at Griff like he was sniffing for competition. Griff tried to want very few things. He learned to keep his sparse wants behind a set of imaginary white bricks in his mind, which he mortised into a barrier late at night, lying and waiting for sleep, sometimes still giving his breath permission to whoop, whoop, whoop. Currently, two wants behind the wall: a late night radio show and the desire to know her better. Would not name her, even in his mind, not with Leo here. Leo would intercept the thoughts like a rogue signal on their dad's transmitter. Her name, so energetically palpable and electric in his mind, Griff suddenly became aware of how badly he wanted those two small things, so that the police lights flashing near the station seemed to be for him a thought crime. All this wanting. K Now 1590 AM Disaster Preparedness Radio stood at the western edge of downtown, a small glass box of a building on wooden stilts. Out in the front lot, leaning on his cruiser, Officer Dunbar. The man was white, stout, and hairless as a bar of soap. Full uniform, face splashed in emergency colors. "What's with the lights?" Griff said. "Look at him," Leo said, "the star of his own tiny crime drama." Griff laughed. "The story of one bald man," Griff said, doing a voiceover. "On a quest for purpose," Leo said, "searching for a killer or a friend." "Be kind," their father said. "Think charitable thoughts." Charitable? Out of all the words? Charity, charity, charity. Griff gripped the seat, put the word out of his mouth. Could his father see behind the wall? They got out of the truck. Dunbar and his father met with an elbow bump. The pandemic had erased handshakes from the Lost Coast preppers. My bad. Nearly the whole junior prepper crew was there, in the parking lot. Dunbar's son, Jonesy, wore a camo hoodie, sunglasses, chewing and spitting sunflower seeds. Beside him, Slim, also just starting their 11th grade year. "Where's the gear?" Slim asked. He was summer tanned, rubber banded together with nervous energy. Without tools to cling to, Slim's hands fussed and pinched and rubbed at the air. Dunbar pointed at the battered brown pickup. Boils of salt water rusted over the wheels, wells. In the bed, blue tarp lashed down and cinched tight, a tiny blade of yellow shining from inside. That was it. Scruggs is already on air, Dunbar said. Where's your boy? He was asking about Thomas. When they all turned to look at Griff, he felt a jolt of otherness. He was out of uniform. The lone jeans, them, camel and Carhartts, their haircuts defined by clipper guards. Leo, a number 6, Jonesy and Slim, a number 3. Dunbar was a 0, the inevitable end game of the clipper countdown. All but Griff wearing bulky paracord bracelets around their right wrist just in case they suddenly needed an emergency bowstringer tourniquet or a horse halter. Griff shrugged, cotton jeans growing heavy in the drizzle. The group perked up, attuned to the approaching sound. Cheer up, Chee Chee Chee. Here he comes, Jonesy said. The Thunder Chicken, a powder blue Thunderbird renamed for its preternatural fan belt squeal, came screeching past their mother's shop, Shoreline Gifts, and blasting past the so-called Bermuda Triangle, the Drift Inn, the Sea Shanty, the Longhorn Pub. Cheer up. The Thunderbird pounced into the station's parking lot, music spilling from the windows. AC/DC's Thunderstruck. I don't even know that song. Do y'all know that song? Let's see. Thomas belted the chorus beat on the wheels, smiled up at them. He timed that. He hank he hand cranked up his window and stepped out in full camouflage. Boots, shirts, pants, belt. Griff laughed. God, where are those camo socks? It was impossible to know if Thomas had done this ironically. Good morning, Thomas, Dunbar said. Good rising, officer, Thomas said, squaring up with him. No morning here. We're saving lives. So how about good rising? They did an elbow bump. I'll consider it, Dunbar said. Thomas got away with more. He designed their famous early alert response system, EARS, for the Great Cascadia earthquake. It had taken months in his basement workshop. When Thomas committed, he was in it down to the socks. Let's get it done, Leo said. Who's going up? Dunbar pulled around the bucket truck, one of those long neck service vehicles recruited to repair snap power lines and rescue treed cats. How about Mr. Blue Jeans? Dunbar said, looking at Griff. This was dreadful. At a workshop over the summer, Griff had successfully tied all 12 knots in a survival knot workshop and earned the unfortunate reputation of being good with his hands. He's good with his hands, Dunbar confided. They can both go, their father said. Leo shot Griff a look like it was Griff's fault. A sharp snapping sound. In the pickup, the blue tarp sheeted up in the wind, a great glistening sail as Slim and Thomas pried off straps and bungees. Look at this sweetie beauty, Thomas said. Big. The siren filled the truck bed, screaming yellow. When they stood it up, it was taller than his father. Cubed stump, a base, skinny neck. The mouth of the siren was square and toothless and wide enough to swallow a boy whole. It took 5 of them to carry it to the bucket truck. Things heavier than our piano, Leo said. GD, oops, Dunbar said. Dunbar did not take the Lord's name in vain. Dunbar, Griff, Leo, and Slim squeezed themselves into the bucket, which was like a high-walled white garbage can. Couldn't we have gotten a crane? Slim asked. The crane's down at the Deuce, Dunbar said. Highway 2, carved delicate switchbacks eastbound through the Coast Range. The only way out of town. For years, it had been shedding pavement the way a dying glacier calves ice, loosing great chunks of itself in flash floods and mudslides, described in Clade City parlance as dropping a deuce. The siren slipped in Griff's hands, top heavy. Griff and Leo shouted, pulling it back upright. Why are we doing this? Griff said. On the first day of school? That's why, Dunbar said. He pointed south down to the coast, to the ruins. Though the ocean looked regular nibbles of beach and tourists, that was the time it took a bite. In 1964, the most devastating tsunami in U.S. history made landfall in Clay City. Ocean waves got to 100 feet, no, 150 feet. Over a dozen people died. That had been nothing. The big one, they'd been told, would knock the San Francisco's bridges into the sea, make Seattle skyscrapers stew, claw every small scrapey town from the Pacific coast, flick Clay City from the map like a crumb hanging on the corner of God's mouth. Get her up, boys. Without a crane, they had to lean way out. The slipping center of gravity made the bucket tip. Griff's stomach sloshed flipped. He stepped wrong. His foot screamed under, the weight slipped with a squeal, and the whole yellow monster canted left, numb fingers screaming on the brittle housing. Dang it, Griff, Leo said. As a group, they gathered their footing. They slipped the Thunderbolt's base over the pole. It slid home with the metallic scrape of a blade. Back on the ground, Griff looked up. They'd stapled the bright yellow siren to Clay City's skyline. Are we going to give it a spin? Leo asked. Of course, their father said, walking toward the ladder. Griff, you staying here? Griff nodded. He just wanted to get to school. The rest of them climbed the rungs to the radio tower. With Leo far away behind glass, he allowed himself to want. He closed his eyes in the drizzle, wet cold. Charity Sims, a person who understood music. He pictured her drive home after the show in July. She'd asked him to ride home with her. Him specifically, when she could have asked Leo or Thomas. Windows down, ringing ears, wind whipping their hair like a wild storm. Her smile made something warm blood in his chest when she lifted her gaze from the road and put it on him. The Martian green glow of the dashboard, counting mile markers and willing them to freeze, asking the winding highway to please pull out and become a runway to the whole big world she talked about finding. The siren shook him. Ree! The brutal sound shaped the air, made his shirt hum on his damp skin. It was a soft noise at first, like an old door opening on rusty hinges. As it grew louder, the inner parts of his ears itched. He pictured the siren like a flood, rushing through the streets, dripping from the eaves. It was washed over the lighthouse, threatening to topple it. Griff's breath caught. What if the siren stopped? Shattered the old Fresnel lens, the way a sudden jolt can shock an old heart to stillness. Flash again, he thought. Flash one more time, and I'll get to see her again. Wanting something badly made death seem imminent. The disaster would surely happen now. The ground would choose this moment to shake and liquefy and swallow him whole. The lighthouse flashed. Griff whispered to himself, whoomp. It felt like a prayer. So that was chapter 1. All right. There's plenty of chapters. Let me see if it has a chapter list. I don't think it has a chapter list. Some books do. But yeah, if you found this book interesting or if you want to take a deep dive into this book, go to Amazon. I'm sure it's on Amazon. It may even be at your local library. It's a lot of tongue-tied words in this book, in my opinion. But yeah, I do like to read. And this is something different. Let me know what you think about the book. I think it's going to be a good read, though. So if you like books like this or you think your kids will like it, go to your local Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. I'm sure they got this book, and this is the author's name. So I will be having a mod in here very soon. And no, it's not bedtime stories. I really didn't even want to show myself because I had a whole StreamYard set up and everything. But what I find is that if you go live on your mobile phone, it notifies all of YouTube. But if you are streaming from StreamYard via YouTube, nobody's probably going to come to the live unless they know you or unless they're subscribed to you. Now, I could have gone live on Facebook, but I'm just really trying this out. So I want to call it Anna Reads. And a friend of mine gave me this idea. So there will be different books that I will read, but I'm not going to read the whole thing, whether I use StreamYard or not. If I use StreamYard, I'll play a little music in the background, very low, probably some lo-fi, and cut it down once I start reading. But I think I'll do the StreamYard thing pertaining to Anna Reads once I have enough people that want to tune in. So the other book that I'll probably get into next time will be National Geographic's Beyond Possible. I think this will be encouraging to some of you because this man wanted to achieve this so bad. Okay, he's a mountain climber, and so he wanted to climb what is called, he wanted to climb all 14 of the death zone mountains in only 7 months. So he challenged himself to do that. And he just felt like he can do it. He believed in himself. He believed that he could do it. I also have another book that I've had for some years. This book I got in Dollar Tree, and I bought a friend this same book. It's called The Ultimate Runner because he's a runner. And I was just getting into jogging. And there are some encouraging stories in here. And I'll definitely be reading some of these stories because everyone has a story. Everyone has challenges in life, whether it's health problems, um, it could be finance, it could be whatever, depression, it could be mental health. Everybody in this book has a dope story. But what they all have in common is that they are runners, and it talks about how they had to press through. So it says the ultimate runner, stories and advice to keep you moving. It was put together by Tom Green and Amy Honnold Van Gundy, creators of Runner's Lounge. So this is basically a book of many stories, and in the back of the book are the bios of the writers of the story. So I'm sure this book is on Amazon if you want to check it out. I'm actually writing a book. I have a book of lyrics I'll be publishing soon. I was going to call it a book of poetry, but since I am a songwriter, my poems are like my songs. And I'm going to actually have the songs that's on my EP, my upcoming EP, in that same book. So you'll be able to have that book and play the music along with it. Not every poem or, lyric has music, but the ones that will be on my EP, I'm going to add to my book. So it's called Seasons of Love, a book of lyrics. And I definitely, my story is in every one of those poems. So there's poems about, well, they're all about love, but there's different aspects of love. There's different seasons of love. You can lose a loved one, like I have, and I'm sure some of you can relate. There's the love of a lost loved one. There's the love from a relationship that no longer exists. There's love for someone that may not return it the way you want. There's a such thing as being in love. There's different seasons of love. Just like the Bible say, there's a time for this and there's a time for everything. That's basically where the inspiration comes from. So I hope you liked the first episode. This was like a very what's the word? Informal episode of Anna Reads. So is there anything you would like me to read? The only thing I don't want to read is like horror, anything, negative. I just want to read things that encourage or stories that seem really cool, but nothing horrific or anything. So the Bible means everything. I will definitely be reading scripture too. I opened this up with scripture. So I appreciate you liking this. I mean, check out Dodad monetized, and she's just making videos from her car. And she's made over $6,000 from the for the month of September, and she's currently making money for October. She went from she was like less than 16,000, close to 40,000. She may be already there now because it was probably what 6 hours ago or so when I checked, and she had a post showing that she was like at 38,000. She was like, "Can I really make it to 40,000?" Of course, she's gonna make it to 40,000. I believe it. I watched her grow within a matter of weeks. You know what I'm saying? And she's very encouraging, and she's letting everybody know that we all have a story, and we do. There's so much that I don't share on social media, and I'm sure there's things that you could be sharing on social media. You know, just yesterday I went live on TikTok for the second time, and I was giving a demonstration on how to make earrings because I like to make jewelry, and I want to show people that they can do it too and they can make money. So let me see if I got any earrings right here. Just to give you an example, something very simple. You know, making crafts is therapeutic. So, you know, it doesn't hurt to teach someone something. You know, YouTube is like a school. Thank you, Ella. So, here's one of my earrings. The other one is in this box, but very inexpensive. I get compliments all the time. Here's a denim earring. And actually, there's a paper clip in there. So you could take anything and make something out of it and make money. So that's what I'll be showing on TikTok during my create and vibe session. I will be creating and vibing to the music that I play. All right. So yeah, if you like this type of content and you want me to do another episode of Anna Reads, leave a comment when I save this live. Let me know some of your favorite books. You can let me know in the chat. What are some of your favorite books? You said I cranked the scripture. Can't play God and block people. I'm not playing God, but you know, I don't have to tolerate y'all saying foolishness if I don't want to.